funny. I used to be funny, but I have a very dry sense of humor.
There was a story, and I wasn't going to mention it, but I'm going to mention it because it fits this perfectly. But it was in Australia, which apparently everything's upside down there. But so this man in women's lingerie came to a museum and let him go in and play with kids with like Legos. And I'm like, because, we didn't want to offend him or anything. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So you let some freaking pedo go in there with
Allegedly,
kids,
you don't know that he's a pedo, but he's oddly
then he
his
can
behavior is odd.
then the
It's
dude can
odd
sue me. I'm
behavior.
in the United States. He's in Australia. You can sue me. Good luck. You can have a freaking tractor.
Not me.
No, me, Tim Beard.
No, but I'm not trying to justify by any means. I'm just saying I don't know that. I mean, that's weird behavior. Like
You
I would
think?
like, why would you show up as an adult to a museum? You're just looking for attention.
Me and you would get arrested. Indecent exposure, whatever. We would get arrested. But if you identify as that, you're fine. You can do whatever you want.
Well, I
No,
mean, what does he
I don't buy
identify?
that
A
crap.
lingerie wearer that likes to build Legos in museums,
Right?
unfettered.
With little kids.
Like, what happened to the rules? The rules
The
don't
rules
apply
only
to everybody.
no, they only apply to one side, and that's the right side of the country or the conservative side of the
I don't
country
even
or
think I'm
the
conservative.
people
I
that
think I'm in the middle.
well, yeah,
Even with you talking with you, if when you're not fired up, you have views on both sides that would be considered both sides of.
yeah, no, I do.
You know what I mean? But like at the end of the
Because,
day, right now, the
yeah, I'm just
country is
pissed
in a
off.
bad
Yeah,
place.
and at the end of the day, I'm a patriot. I love this country. I love the founding of this country and everything else about this country, and I plan on not living in some other
Yeah,
country.
we have some bad things that have occurred in the lifetime of our country, but
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't
so
mean
does
that
every other
we.
country.
Yeah, exactly. Like every
Genghis Khan
society.
killed how many people? How much genocide happened there? How much all that stuff? But do we condemn those countries now that we're no? It's all right.
No, we study it and learn how and why he did it and
Yeah, and why we should be better, right?
why he was successful,
You
how
know,
he was successful.
yeah, it's history.
I mean, it's
But
bad.
let's erase it
It's
because
bad
it
though. You know what
hurts
I
my
mean? Like
feelings, though.
killing that many people. Like why? We're a brutal species sometimes.
Yeah, and now we're just becoming
Now we're just living in
dumbed
fantasy
down to the
land. Yeah.
fact that we just let it happen. It doesn't matter. You want to dress up as a furry and walk around in school? That's okay. Well, it's all right. You want to put it on women's lingerie and go to a freaking children's museum and play Legos with kids? That's okay.
That's not okay.
That wouldn't be okay. You do that with my kid, you'll find out. You'll see a different side of me. Like I protect my kids, and that's just the end of the story. And
Everybody
you do whatever
looks
you want to
bad.
do, but so done. Like I told you yesterday, I'm like, this is gonna be a fired up show, and hey, you don't want to listen to the show? Don't listen to the show. It's real simple. But these are the facts of our country, and if you want to look at that and actually start to wake up and be like, huh,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe $10 a gallon gas is not good for the country. Maybe I'll go out and buy a $60,000 electric car that won't work in the winter, where they have to store the batteries in bomb shelters because if anything happened to them, they'll catch on fire. Because that's the alternative right there. When none of these morons in Washington
you have
drive
to
electric
pay to get it
cars.
installed. I think some cars come with that as a
Yeah,
option or whatever, but you got to have a
yeah. My
special.
$582 light bill over the winter. I can only imagine what that would be with my electric car, because that's going to be better, right? But who's going to buy an electric car when gas is $2 a gallon? But if we can make it $10 a gallon, maybe then you'll buy electric cars. No, no, I still won't buy an electric car. Won't happen. I don't need your crappy junk electric car. You could make my truck run better and more miles a gallon. My 81 Chevy gets the same fuel mileage as my 2016 Chevy truck. Uh, but all the technology we have, I mean, we can send a man to the moon, allegedly. We can send rockets in outer space and land them on a little pad now the size of this table. We can do that. We have drones that can do anything. We can, I mean, you're in the military, you know things you can't even tell me about. But we can't make my truck get better fuel mileage. Our country used to be able to do anything. During World War II, when all the men went off to fight the war, women went into factories and they were making all this stuff, which, oh, we couldn't do that. Yeah, we could, because as a country,
We
this is
came
what
together.
happens.
Yeah, we
We
came
unite
together.
and we do what we have to do. We've lost that as a country. We forgot about that as a country. And now we're just letting a bunch of clowns, literally clowns, run our country into the ground. and our congressmen and women stand back and do nothing. So if Jeanne Shaheen and Maggie Hassan are so happy with the direction this country's going, then they should come to New Hampshire, face their residents, and we love our almost $5 a gallon gas, and you should sit here and tell us how great that all is. Because I don't see you do anything in Washington, and I don't care what Jeanne Shaheen's office has done for Newport, which there's been a lot of it, because it's her job. Because that's her job as a congresswoman, to go there and rally for our state and do what's best for our state. That's a job. Just like if you're a plumber, your job is to fix my plumbing. That's a job. That's not, oh, she's so great. No, maybe your plumber's a nice guy, whatever. That's different, but it's your job. So you're going to tell me all 100 of these senators in Congress are like, oh, or in the Senate, or they're all like, oh, yeah, we're going to just go with this. That's cool. $5 gas, $10 gas, it's all right. No worries. We're still getting our money from big corporations that just dump the money in our pockets.
Look, there was a time in this country when they had a mask mandate back in like 1918.
Yeah.
And if you go back and look it up, the reason why they stopped wearing masks is because photos came out of the quote unquote elite in Washington or Hollywood or both not wearing their gauze mask that they were telling everybody else they had to wear for the greater good. And so people said, you're not wearing it, I'm not wearing it. Like, you set the example. You want to call yourself a leader. You're going to go and get your hair cut without a mask on. You're going to go eat $10 ice cream out of your fridge and tell us all that life is good and everything else, while everybody's small businesses were being like forced closed during the COVID pandemic. It baffles my mind that people don't go and say, you set the example, you're not doing it, I'm not doing it, don't ever ask me to do it again, because it obviously, if it's not so important that you can do it, then it's not important that I do it. We're the exact same. Like, you're no better than me. Like, there's no sliding scale of, well, because I'm a congressman or woman, I don't have to do this. Yeah, you do. You should anyway.
Right.
If you want to inspire and motivate people, you got to walk the walk and you got to talk the talk.
Exactly.
And we all, don't get me wrong, like, we all make mistakes. Like, okay, all right, you had your mask off one time. If it's one time, that's one thing. But every time there's a picture taken of you at a function, you don't have a mask on, but all the wait staff have masks on.
Right.
Like that, I have an issue with that.
No, they're above us. They're better than us. So we're not being governed anymore. We're being ruled. And this country is a constitutional republic. It's we the people. But we the people have forgotten that it is we the people, that they represent us. We don't answer to them.
Job of hoodwinking the public.
Yes. We don't answer to them.
From my perspective.
They answer to us.